Welcome to the Weeb Lounge. I am Nick, and this episode of Kuma 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 Bear, episode 5, it's all about eggs. Yeah, eggs. All right, now this episode picks up where the last one left off, at Fina's mom's house. Yes, I'm trying to remember her name, and by remembering it, I wrote it down right here below the camera so that I know and I don't look like an idiot. Still look like an idiot. Anyways, this one's all about eggs. Fina's mom is starting to get a little bit better, right? She just got cured of poison or whatever sickness that she had, and they want to make her a nice healthy breakfast. Why not, right? So, eggs. Eggs is part of everyone's breakfast, right? For the most part. I mean, I go to McDonald's, I get a steak, egg, cheese bagel like every damn day of the week, so there's an egg on that. I can understand. This episode's about eggs. Okay. So the thing is, in this world, eggs are apparently rare. The whole town or whatever, they're pretty expensive. So you can't just go out and get a dozen eggs, come back and feed the whole family, because they on Fina's salary, apparently she can't even afford like a few, like monthly salary. They're that freaking expensive. That's dumb. That is just dumb. They're chickens. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, so basically Yuna has to go around and collect ingredients and stuff. And as she's going around collecting ingredients, she is in the marketplace and happens to look over and sees all these dirty kids just kind of standing around looking all sad and stuff. Well, apparently they're from the orphanage, and apparently they're kind of hoping to get scraps from people walking around the marketplace so that they can eat and live. Poor kids, poor orphanage, not enough funding. It's going that route. All right. Now, of course, Yuna, being all kind-hearted and a loving bear, takes pity on him, buys him a bunch of food, and goes to the orphanage to check it out. And the orphanage is all run down. They don't have enough food to feed everybody. Nobody's getting paid a damn. Yeah, it's a completely miserable existence. It's about eggs. Okay. So when Yuna sees this, she gets mad. She's like, well, where's your funding? You know, who's funding this or whatever? And it is supposed to be the Lord of the area from the previous episode, right? And this is where Yuna she gets mad. She gets really mad at the Lord. She knew something was wrong. She knew that the Lord was evil. They're all evil. All these noble people are evil. And this kind of justifies that. So she sets out to try to do something about this. Well, when she went to go get eggs for Fina's mom, she used a new spell. She was looking at her menu and everything and saw Bear Transfer Gate. Okay, this is probably going to be a pretty important part of the whole rest of the series. A bear transfer gate. What does a bear transfer gate do? It transfers you to a gate. Okay, in MMO terms, it's basically a waypoint or a flight point or something like that, but it's instant transfer. As long as she's gone to the area and set up a gate over there, she can use one from her house and essentially transport instantaneously. Very convenient. The only problem is, and of course, you know, Yuna is a little on the lazy side, just going to say, but the only problem is that she complains about is that she has to go to that area first to set up the gate, and then she can use the gate. Yeah. Well, that's how she gets some eggs. That town that she saved from the big old snake is apparently a producer of eggs. So she goes there, gets some eggs, brings a bag, cooks them up for the mom. Yay, eggs! They're tasty and nutritious and healthy for you. Or that's what the government tells us for now, until like a couple months from now, scientists tell us otherwise. Different story, go a different route. So back to the orphanage. She's like, okay, well, how do we make money for this orphanage? Well, she's like, okay, well, I can use the gate that she's not supposed to tell anybody. Okay, Fina goes through the gate once, right? And Yuna asks Fina, is like, hey, have you ever heard of this kind of magic, transportation magic? And Fina's like, no, this is new. Nobody has this. So it's a down low secret now. That's a little side spot there. Don't tell anybody about the gates, otherwise abuse. So she uses the gates to go back to this town, purchase a bunch of chickens, comes back to the orphanage and says, all right, we're going to have a bunch of child slave labor and you're going to raise these chickens and sell the eggs and make money. Yay. Didn't think I was going to throw the slave labor, child labor thing in there, did you? Well, overall, it's a good idea, right? Remember, Yuna is a genius in the real world, right? She knows how to make that money. She knows how to do stock market. So apparently she's really good when it comes to business. And this one's kind of a no-brainer. She gets all these chickens, brings them to the orphanage, sets up a coop, kind of teaches them all how to raise these chickens, and later on builds a much bigger facility to house all these chickens. And now the city has all the eggs that they want. The prices come down, everybody can have eggs. It's glorious. Yeah, and Fina's mom, the one that was sick, kind of got suckered into getting a job at the orphanage. Maybe she's getting paid in eggs. I don't know. Well, probably not. Not going to get paid in eggs. Nobody gets paid in eggs. If you get paid in eggs, someone's taking advantage of you. You might want to talk to HR. Okay. Eggs. I told you this episode's all about eggs. Tamago. Okay, well, Fina's mom is basically set up as kind of like a liaison, right? She's supposed to handle business dealings between the orphanage and the merchant guild. And what they're doing is they're selling the eggs directly to the merchant guild, and the merchant guild is then distributing them. So it's kind of like a little supply chain thing. Smart business. It goes without saying. But the thing is, in the contract with the merchant guild, the eggs cannot be sold to the Lord and the Lord's family. Now that's spiteful. That is really spiteful. Like, you don't like the Lord, so therefore no eggs for you. It's like the soup Nazi guy, no soup for you. It's no eggs for you. Okay. Well, the Lord gets wind of this, and he's talking to like one of his subordinates about eggs and egg prices and stuff, kind of like an economic update of the town. It's like, okay, egg prices coming down, more eggs, cool. That's good for the city, all right. And he comes to realize that for whatever reason, they can't sell him the eggs. And he's like, well, what the heck? Learns that Yuna's in on it, goes and confronts her, and she's like enraged at him because he's not funding the orphanage or whatever. Yuna's mad. Probably not a good idea to talk to Yuna while she's mad because, Kuma punch is going to Kuma blow your face off, right? That's how it's going to work out if you upset her too much, I think, So the Lord kind of cuts the conversation short and says, I'll return, goes back. And it turns out this is where we get confirmation that the Lord is actually a good guy. He starts doing investigating. His subordinate there starts looking through paperwork and everything and finds out that this other merchant idiot guy or whatever that's like on the town council or something is embezzling all the funds. Now, he's not just embezzling the funds from the orphanage. He's causing violence and crime and other embezzlements like across the board in like all of his dealings. This is a really bad guy. And they bring him into front of the Lord, and he's doing the whole merchant little greedy little thing. It's like, how can you be more typical? I mean, if somebody was trying to sell me something and they creep up to my ass and they're like, I'm not doing business with you. There's no way in hell. It'd be like trying to buy a soul from Kefka or something. These don't work. No, it's just if they don't, just don't. But anyways, that guy gets caught, and like he sends armed forces to the guy's mansion, arrest him, all that stuff and everything, and then goes back to Yuna and the orphanage, apologizes, and Yuna learns the truth that it wasn't the Lord who was doing it himself. It wasn't by his command, which Yuna assumed, but rather one of the Lord's subordinates embezzling funds out from under his nose. So the Lord's a good guy, we got a barricade, and the orphanage is apparently now very well funded with their whole egg operation and doesn't need money from the Lord anymore. So yeah, I wouldn't have told the Lord that. I would have been like, yeah, Lord, we could use some funding and then compound that on top of the eggs, and that people living in that orphanage could live like freaking kings. So yeah, that's the route I would have taken. I wouldn't have been like, no, egg money good enough. Egg money. Oh my God. Okay. That's the episode. All right. It's another one of those feel-good type cutesy episodes, right? The thing is, I wasn't terribly interested while I was watching it. I really wasn't. You pretty much knew the route that it would go. All right, you didn't necessarily know about if the Lord was good or bad. I got the hint that the Lord might not quite know what's going on. You get that feel right off the bat, right? So it's not a terrible surprise. The Bear Gate is going to be a very important inclusion because that is an OP piece of equipment to be able to go from point A to point B instantaneously. And then presumably set up more gates and be able to go to point C, D, the whole alphabet, and then some. So that's a good development. That's something that will come in handy at some point. And it did come in handy in this episode, just to transport eggs. Yeah. Unfortunately, this episode really couldn't keep my attention. It really couldn't. It's like watching an anime and it's just like kind of mundane, kind of going, it's all about eggs. Yay, I know where this is going. Typical stuff. Bear Gate, cool. Lord, okay, he good guy, and eggs. I could have summed it up that quick for you. I really could. So I'm really hoping that the next episode, changes the pace. A little bit more action, a little bit more developments and everything. Like I said, the Bear Gate's important, and knowing that the Lord can be trusted is important. But the content of the episode itself I was bored. I'll be honest, I was bored. It's not my thing to go overly cutesy with anime. Some other people will really enjoy that. My personal taste on it, overly cutesy is bad cutesy. So don't try to go overboard. With that, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. If there's something I missed, some little nuance or something that would make this episode more interesting, throw it in the comments below, because maybe I wasn't paying completely full attention. But yeah, I'm sitting there with my board and like writing eggs, orphanage, Bear Gate. Yeah, that was my summary. We'll see you in the next video.